Hello guys, welcome to my first video on the channel. I'll be talking about the MK1 Beta, however you say it. And I'm mainly focusing on like Lui Kang and what I think about him, like his overall gameplay basically. Given the fact that I mained him for like majority of the beta. I played a little bit of Sub-Zero, but I mostly play like Lui Kang. Let's also pretend that the beta didn't just end like a week ago and this video is coming out a week after. Let's just act like that didn't happen. But yeah, I'll be making more like MK1 videos and stuff. I'll be also making like Formula 1, football, chess, and also other games that I play every now and then. So if you're into stuff like that, if you're interested in not only watching some gameplay but hearing what I have to say, then feel free to like and subscribe. And let's get into the video. As for my thoughts on the beta in general, I think that it was pretty nice. It was pretty good. I quite liked it. I think at least compared to like MK11, because I only recently started playing MK11. I'd say like a month plus ago, like mid-July. I think that's when I started playing MK11. So yeah, compared to that, I would say it's definitely less frustrating. I mean, especially, I don't know, of course, if you're watching this, you've probably played MK11 before, and one of the most frustrating things, at least, was like Breaker, where you'd be, mid-combo and they break away, and then just stand up and get a full combo punish on you for like 600 damage, and of course, you don't have Breaker, so you just take, not 600 damage, I'm exaggerating, but like 300 plus damage. And then you can't break away because you yourself, you probably use your break or something happened. So yeah, it was a bit, that was a bit frustrating. But at least with MK1, that's one thing that's never going to happen, because obviously when there's a breaker, it resets everyone back to neutral, and then obviously you're in the neutral then, and then they can start either going in or they can start coming in on you. So that about it made it like less frustrating, to be honest, because at least you don't have to worry about getting punished for 300 plus damage because you were in a combo and they broke away from the combo. That made MK1 much less frustrating, I should say. One thing I liked also was the up block mechanic. I think the up block mechanic is very good, because one thing again I struggled with in MK11 was jumping. Obviously, like the good players would stand one and they'll always anti it, but every single time I tried to stand one, that's never happened. For some reason, my stand one either comes out late or it never comes out. So the up block mechanic, at least it gives you, like, obviously the up block mechanic can be punished, but it gives you some sort of mind games, because if they jump in and kick, you can, and you up block it, that's a full combo punish for 300 damage. If they jump and kick, like if they jump and, like, for example, if they jump with one or sort of jump one or something like that, if you up block it, again, that's a full combo punish. Obviously, as long as you react instantly, that's a full combo punish on them. If they don't and you up block, obviously that's a full combo punish on you. So like there is some sort of like mind games that is happening there, and at least it will deter people from like just jumping in and kicking 90% of the time, because people will kind of be like, okay, do they kick or they just jump in and throw? And one thing that I did not like, or I don't say I did not like, but one thing that I kind of wish it was faster, if you like, was the backdash mechanic. I feel like the backdash was a bit slow compared to the MK11, because like MK11, if you backdash, you can, especially like if you're playing Joker, who has like the best backdash in the game. Obviously Johnny has a very good backdash, but like for example with Lui Kang tiptoes when he's backdashing. I'm like, bro, like, I'm trying to get away from trouble here, move your feet a bit quicker. So Lui Kang is like tiptoeing all over the place when he backdashes, so it's a bit slow. But like I think in general, like collectively, at least what I noticed was the backdash was slower in MK1 than in MK11. In general, I think that would be most of the things that I would talk about when it comes to beta. I think overall it was a good beta. I'm excited for the game. It comes out in like 3 weeks or less than 3 weeks now, which is very exciting. In terms of Lui Kang, I think Lui Kang is just a solid character. He has great projectiles. I think his projectiles, depending on what other characters are like, I think Lui Kang's projectile game is very good, if not the best in the beta at least. When other characters come out, obviously that could change, but I think in the beta definitely he had the best projectile game. And if you played Lui Kang with Jack, and Lui Kang had like the life lead on you, for example, you're not coming in on him, pause, but you're just not doing it, because he has, obviously with Jax you have the ground pound or ground smash, and Lui Kang you have the air fireball. So what you do is just do, I don't have a clip of it, but you just ground pound and then drop in the air and do the air fireball, and you're basically not doing anything, and then you have to do either the dragon, or worry about the low dragon, or worry about the fireball, or worry about the air fireball. So like, there was just, if he has a life lead, if Lui Kang has like a life lead, like a considerable life lead, for you to get close to him, you have to give up some life to get close to him and even think about doing a combat, for example. So I think projectile wise, King is one of the best, if not the best in the game. And I think he also has very good reversals, because his get up reversal, the bicycle kick, is like really good because he's like multi-hitting. And I think the meter burn one has a little bit of pushback. He can still be punished, but obviously if they're not expecting the pushback, he has a little bit of like pushback a bit, so you have to almost like dash up to punish it as well. So I think his reversals are really good. For example, I think one person that doesn't have good reversals is like Sub-Zero, for example, because you like, if Sub-Zero is waking up, he's only going to do the slide. So once you expect him to like do the slide, you're kind of like waiting for him to do it, and that slide is so punishable, so punishable, because one hit, and once he does the slide and you catch him, you have a full combo punish on the Sub-Zero. So I think when it comes to the King, again, I wouldn't say it's like the greatest reversal, but I think especially the bicycle kick, meter burn is really good. Unless obviously you're fighting the Sub-Zero that meter burns the ice clone, which it's not fun when that happens. Overall, for the best cameo to play with Lui Kang, I would definitely say Sonya. That's who I play the most with Lui Kang. Maybe it's because I just press Lui Kang, press Sonya, I was like, okay, this worked, and then I kept you pushing. But I would definitely say like the best cameo, at least for me, playing with Lui Kang, was definitely Sonya. I think he can get, I didn't get any crazy damage in the corner, but like in the training mode, or sorry, the AI, where you reverse the AI, I was able to get some good damage like with Sonya in the corner. But like, I wasn't able to do that in the game, obviously. But like in the corner, like with Sonya, at least I think you get the most amount of damage. I think you can also get good damage with like Kano. I think the general consensus, at least from what I've seen from the beta, is that Kano is the best assist in the game, cameo in the game, I should say. But I think for me, Sonya just worked really well. I could combo into like every of her attacks and stuff like that. So yeah, these are all the like pros, I guess you could say, of Lui Kang. These are all the things that are good about him. But in terms of things that I think that he struggles with, or that are not so good about him, if you like, is the low pokes. I think Lui Kang has pretty much one of the worst low pokes in the game. I think the best one is definitely Johnny Cage. I think when you're getting low poked by Johnny Cage, there's a lot of good spacing for his low pokes, and it's just so hard for you to like do anything when Johnny Cage is poking it. Another person that has good ones is definitely Sub-Zero as well. So Sub-Zero and Johnny Cage have good low pokes in it, like down ones and down threes, I think. But Lui Kang doesn't. He just struggles. Like, if you see, I'm sure you've seen in the clip when I'm trying to low poke with like down one, for example, and he's like, his arms are just so short. He's like, are you actually trying to punch anyone, But he has definitely bad low poke. Another thing, he struggles with like opening up opponents, like finding spaces and gaps in opponents to like open them up, so you're able to combo them. For example, someone like Johnny is like Johnny. He has the overhead starter. He has the string that ends in a low, and that same string that ends in an overhead. He has a low starter. I think he has a low starter. I'm not sure. I don't think he has a low starter, but he has a string that ends in a low and a string that ends in an overhead, and an overhead starter as well. I think he has like 2 overhead starters. So like with Johnny, especially close range, you're like guessing. The amount of guessing you're having to do there, you've never done in an exam environment before. It's crazy. So you're just guessing to stay alive. But like with Lui Kang, you don't have to guess, because you just know that. Especially in the clips, if you notice, I was just doing I think it's forward 4-3. I think that's the string I was doing like constantly, because that was the only string that I could have used to like like, you know, start my combos, because again, I think he's a mid and he reaches like he has enough space to like whiff punish or to like catch people that are trying to press buttons, but it's not a mix-up. So obviously, as long as they're blocking down, as long as everyone is blocking down, you're not, as long as you're not whiff punishing or trying to defend, you're never opening them up. And I guess maybe that's the kind of character Lui Kang is meant to be, but it just makes him so difficult to like play. And so difficult to use to open people up. Unlike, for example, Johnny or Sub-Zero, or even Lee May as well, who has a low star that ends in an overhead. So you can do that, and do that. So they worry about doing the blocking the overhead. Just called me out so many times. Worry about blocking the overhead, and then you just get them with the low into the air launcher, and then you have a combo. But with Lui Kang, that's just never happening unless you're whiff punishing, at least. So overall, I think that he's a good character. Like, I think he's a good character. He's not a terrible character. He has good projectiles. He has good damage. So he's a good character. But if he had one overhead, give Lui Kang an overhead starter or a string that ends in an overhead, and fam, he's the best character in the game by far. You just give it. You just bring that to Lui Kang and put it on his plate, and he becomes the best character in the game. It's not even close. But yeah, I think that will bring me to, like, I think in summary, I would say very good beta. Lui Kang is okay. I played a little bit of Sub, so maybe I'll make a video talking about Sub-Zero next. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
You underestimate Earthrealm. Creation was a mistake.
Quitality. Lui Kang wins.